Welcome back. Well, they might not be as well known as the Lakers or the Bulls, but the New Jersey Nets are fast spreading their reach. After playing preseason games in China and running a basketball clinic in Russia, tonight they played in the NBA's first ever regular season game in Europe. The team owe their global flair to the NBA's first foreign owner, that is Mihaila Prохorova. And Pedro Pinto sat down with the Russian billionaire earlier on today.
Why did you pick the NBA and why did you pick the Nets?
Look, there is like two basic options. First, I was the owner of the basketball club. And for me, when we reached the top with CSKA, I want more competition. And for me, it was like a dream, even 5 years ago, to buy an NBA team. But luckily, maybe because of the globalization, I had this opportunity. There is a reason that I was born in Moscow and I live in Moscow, and I like New York. It's like brother and sister, same crazy energy, and I like a New York team. And my first attempt, I kept an eye for New York Knicks. Because all the cable vision, the cable vision company was in a difficult situation, and a friend of mine, investment banker, called me saying maybe it's an opportunity for the spin-off, just Madison Square Garden Arena, Knicks and Rangers. But after everything was settled, and maybe a year later, he called me saying, look, there is an excellent opportunity for New Jersey Nets because in the future they will move to Brooklyn. So we met with Bruce Ratner. He was the previous owner and now he's my partner in the arena. And in a few months we made a deal. That's it.
You mentioned the New York Knicks. They took away one of the players you were after for a long time, Carmelo Anthony.
Are you sure?
I believe so by everything that I've been reading over a long time. How much did you chase him?
He's a great player, for sure. He's one of the best shooters in the league, for sure.
But you didn't chase him?
Oh, I am quite satisfied from what we have from the deal.
So you've got Deron Williams now. You're trying to rebuild, and this was the first big step, I would say, in that rebuilding. What do you expect from this team for the rest of the season?
I think it's not the first step. We have a very good coach. We have a very strong front office. We have very good management. It's a first step. And we have excellent young players. We have still a lot of draft picks. And just we needed a superstar. Now we have it. It's very important for the team, it's very important for the fans, for the franchise, etc. Now we can build a really championship team around Deron Williams.
You mentioned the move to Brooklyn. How important is that for the team? How do you feel about that move?
I'm thirsting to move to Brooklyn, and my goal is just to create a real championship team, because Brooklyn has been thirsting for more than 50 years for the professional team, as Dodgers left in the middle of the last century. It would be the fourth largest city in the US with 2.5 million people living in Brooklyn. So it's a great franchise. It's like a great metropolitan of New York. So I'm really enthusiastic about the possibilities in Brooklyn.
You mentioned the success that you had with CSKA Moscow when you took over. They weren't very successful at all, and you turned their fortunes around. Do you think that has given you confidence that you can do the same in the NBA, and how much tougher is it to do it in the NBA?
It's more difficult because you need to be really smart of spending money. Once you make a mistake in NBA, you will have to wait like 5-6 years for expiring of the contract. That's why in the European basketball you can just pay penalties, change the team in 1 year. That's why you need to be really very smart and very cautious.
I've read a lot of the things you said about the Nets becoming the first truly global team. What would that mean for you? What is your idea of a global team?
If you look for the English Premier League, we have, or like in the Spanish Football League, we have the examples of 2-3 teams which are now really the global brands. And NBA as a brand, it's a global brand. But if you look for any NBA team, it's not for the time being like a global brand. It's some kind of discrepancy. So I'm being a first foreigner, I understand and I believe in globalization, and my goal to create from New Jersey Nets the global brand. And I think I have a competitive advantage because I am the first foreign owner of the team. So I have diversified business assets in different countries. And Brooklyn, it's the center of U.S. immigration. And one of every 7 people living in the United States, it has relatives coming from Brooklyn, or personally he lived in Brooklyn. For example, when I was in Boston and I was in San Antonio, people came to me saying, "Oh, I am Brooklynite. Just I wish you good luck." That's very important. And being in Brooklyn, it's a very strong competitive advantage for the global brand.
How important is it when the NBA comes to Europe and has regular season games for the first time?
Really, I share the NBA vision that globalization is the natural second step of development of the league. Because if we look globally, basketball now it's game number 2 in the world. And we have a lot of fans which is not unhooked for the time being for the game. And for example, when a fan has a chance to see a live basketball, he is hooked by the game. That's very important.
You told me you would like to win a championship in 5 years. If that doesn't happen, are you someone who's going to stick with a project?
I don't want to say what if. Let's meet in 4 years.